You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming, didn't you? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ijoma, but you can call me IJ. As you can already tell from the title of the video, we are going to be reviewing the most anticipated movie of all time. Yeah, and I'm talking about Woman King. It's a movie that was just released and it has got everybody talking, and I'm so glad. I feel, in fact, at this point I feel so privileged to have watched the movie. Let's just get into it. Before we talk about the movie proper, let's talk about the whole anticipation leading to the release of this movie. Let's talk about how the world received it. So Woman King was set to be released somewhere this year. I saw the trailer. What made me anticipate it the most was because I had just finished reading Viola Davis's book, her new book titled Finding Me, and I think to a point, to an extent, it's piqued my interest in having to watch. Like, after I read that book, I said to myself, listen girl, you have to watch this movie when it comes out, because when you read a story about someone, you appreciate them better. When you're watching things they've done, now you understand why they act this way or what informed the decision to even take up a role. And I'm so glad I read that book, Finding Me. I highly recommend it if you've not, and I've done a review on it, so I'll link it up here if you want to know what the book is about. I think it's the best autobiography I've read yet. So yeah, let's get into the movie. Now, I understand that this movie is a new movie. It's still in cinemas. It's not on any streaming platform. It's not on Netflix, Amazon and all that. So it's going to be very difficult to talk about the movie without talking about the movie, because a lot of people have not seen it. They are yet to see it, and I would not want to spoil it for anybody, because this is not just a movie. This is a movement. This is an African movement, and I want people to have their own, like, form their own opinions of it, because it's so painful having to wait to watch a movie and then somebody comes to spoil it for you. I want you to form your own opinions. This is the first time I'm going to be reviewing a movie that I cannot really talk in depth about the movie. I want you to experience what I experienced, and I've told myself that I'm going to see that movie again. I would want to go and watch it in the cinema again, and when it comes on any streaming platform, I would gladly watch it again. So I'm going to read the synopsis of the movie. Oh, by the way, you guys are invited. I'm having beans and roasted plantain. Okay, so Woman King, this movie is set in the 1800s. Okay, so a group of all female warriors protect the African kingdom of Dahomey with skills and fierceness unlike anything the world has ever seen. Faced with a new threat, General Nasiska is Viola Davis, trains the next generation of recruits to fight against a foreign enemy that is determined to destroy their way of life. Yeah, so this movie is, like I just read in the synopsis, it's about a group of all female warriors. You know, their sole prime and their aim is to protect the kingdom in Africa called Dahomey, and they have threats from neighboring countries trying to take over the kingdom by selling slaves to the white people. Yeah, so Viola Davis is the general. She is the woman in charge of the warriors and all that, and this is going to be so difficult. I really want to talk about this movie, but I can't. Okay, so yeah, they had new recruits, and there's a whole plot twist on that new recruit-ish thing. There's this girl who was going to be sold into marriage by her parents, her dad, and she didn't want to be sold into marriage because that is the order of the day. Once she gets to a certain age, I think the movie also addresses that kind of, you know, arranged marriages and all that. So once you get to a certain age, your parents will sell you off to somebody who is rich, and she did not want to be married. So her father now brought her to the female warriors, it's like a palace where the king stays. So the father brought her to be sold to the king instead. Since you don't want to be married to the man I'm choosing for you, so I'm giving you, I'm dashing you, not even selling, I'm dashing you to the king. So when they got there, the caretaker of the female warrior, so Viola Davis is here, she's the head, she's the boss, and she has a caretaker who takes care of all the girls and everything. She was the one who received her, and instead she taught her how to fight, because that's what the girl wants. The girl says, I don't want to be married, I want to be a warrior like you guys, I want to learn how to fight, I want to go to war with men and all that. So that's what the movie is about. She's not the only one, they have a lot of recruits. If you pass a certain stage, you now become a female, you know, soldier. So that's what the movie is about. They were just trying to get back the kingdom. I think it's a really good movie. It is I think it's exceptional, and it made me as an African very, very proud. One, because it is an African movie, and secondly, because there's a Nollywood actor in there. His name is Jimmy. I was so proud when I saw him. I was screaming in the theater. I was like, yes, 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 Naija, 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 go Naija. This is what I'm talking about. Go Naija. So that was a proud Naija moment for me. Like, I was so proud to have a Nigerian actor and woman king. There was one lady who stood out to me. She's the caretaker of the recruits, and she stood out to me. Yeah, Viola Davis is exceptional. She's all that. She's great. But we've seen Viola Davis. We know she's great. This particular lady, she's a British actor. Her name is Lashana Lynch. I have seen her in a British movie titled Fast Girls. It was a group of girls, athletes. They were runners. So I've seen her in that movie. That was a long time ago, like way back when I was in the university, and I loved her then and I love her now. She added a sort of humor to it, and I really loved her role. I think I have a girl crush on her. I'm crushing so hard on Lashana. When I was done watching the movie, I went to follow her Instagram. I stalked. If I tell you I stalked, if you know me, I stalked. I googled her. I did everything. Now I know everything about her, and I think she's great. She's British, but I love it. So with the whole thing about the African accent, you know, they were trying to act like real Africans, so they had to do away with the sprish and speak like Africans. The one person who stood out for me with his African accent is the king, the guy who played the role of the king, John Boyega. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation of his name, but he's done other movies, and I don't know his background. Well, I'll look it up. I think he's actually Nigerian, but a diasporan who has stayed in, you know, he's Nigerian but stays in America, because he did the accent so well. He did a Nigerian accent so well, brilliantly. Now I'm not sure about the other actors and actresses, what their accents they were trying to give. This is a problem I have with, you know, with Nollywood. They think we all have the same accent. They think all of us sound the same, but no, we don't. There's a Nigerian accent, there's the Ghanaian accent, there's how Liberians speak, there's Ugandan, there's Kenyan, but they always think that we speak the same. So anytime they are trying to, you know, portray that Africanness, they're trying to portray an African themed movie or something, they try to make it look like we all sound the same, but no, we don't. And I've been saying this, I've even written about this, that as much as the movie is great and everything, I think they should actually invest time to you know, to research or hire those kind. If you want to cast a Nigerian in your movie, hire a Nigerian, like a proper Nigerian. That's why I'm so happy for the Nollywood actor in the movie, Jimmy. I think, you know, because he's Nigerian, he didn't have to learn to speak like an African. He spoke like the way he would normally speak in a Nigerian movie, because he's an African. And yes, that's something I really love. You understand? So I think they all did well with their accent, but apart from the Nigerian who spoke like himself, he didn't have to, you know, relearn something about his accent. The guy who played the king, like I said, John Boyega, killed it for me. Listen, he sounded like a guy who stays in Mushi or Ikpaja. He sounded very Nigerian, and if he did his research, because I've watched his other movies and he's American. So if he actually did his research well and learned to speak like a Nigerian, come on, kudos, he did exceptionally well. His accent took me off. Viola Davis, however, she's a great actor and everything, she's great, but the accents, there were times where she would forget herself and start speaking like an American, but it wasn't too much, especially when she spoke fast. If she had to speak fast or if she had to be angry, you hear notes of her real accent, you know, her American accent, and that for me, I felt but it was good all the same. My new girl, Lashana Lynch, yes, I'm not sure which kind of African accent she was trying to give, but it sounded good. She didn't try to sound like, because originally she's British, so yeah, I didn't hear any notes of, you know, British in it, so it was good for me. Now the main character besides the woman king, who is Viola Davis, the girl who acted as, you remember I said there was a girl who was going to get married, her parents were going to sell her off to marriage, and she said she didn't want to get married, so they brought her to, yeah, the new recruit. I think she's originally from either Kenya or South Africa. I'll put it down here below. So her accent was good as well. So on the whole language African accent thing, I'll give them a good 70%, because I think they did very well. Yeah, so currently Woman King is the highest grossing movie in the world right now. People are watching it. It sort of reminds me of when Black Panther came out. You guys remember Black Panther, how it was everywhere. However, I wasn't impressed with the story of Black Panther. It felt like an everyday Nigerian movie, but high budget. But this Woman King actually told a very, very important story. You understand? I don't know if it's because I'm a woman and I could relate. You understand? And the fact that this is I didn't mention this is a true life story. This story actually exists. This story actually happened in Africa. So the director, the whole production did well. This story is very important to me. It's very important. It's a movie I'd love to watch again. So if you've not watched it, visit a cinema near you and see it. Watch it, and I'm very sure that if I watch it again, I'm going to get certain things again out of it, because the first time I watched, okay, so me, this is how my movie mind works. I don't like watching movies with people, because I feel like people distract. We'll be laughing because there are some notes of humor in there, which I get, but for me, when I'm watching a movie, I do not only watch for entertainment, and I've said this in almost all my reviews here. I look out for production, I look out for costume, I look out for everything. So I really take my time to see a movie. That's why I want to see it again, but this time alone. The first time I watched it, I was with people, like it had just come out first, so yeah, of course the cinema was full to the brim. Yeah, I'll give this movie a 4 out of 5 stars, because I thought they did great. And please, you guys should watch out for my girl why do I keep her name is what, Lashana Lynch. I've seen one of her movies and I'm looking forward to watch more of her movies. Okay, she's beautiful. Oh my goodness, her skin is like chocolate. Her eyebrows are full. She has this full eyebrow and it's so beautiful.
The first rule of training: always obey Izogi. I am Izogi.
I really love that line. I really do love that line. So please make sure you catch the movie at any, I don't think it's going to be showing on any streaming platform. If you're waiting for it to start showing on Netflix before you watch it, it will take 100 years. It will be long. It will really keep long. So if you want to see it, better take your ass to the cinema and go and watch, because I'm sure it's going to start streaming on Netflix maybe next year or something. By then you would have been the last person in this world to see it. So you guys, if you've watched it, tell me what you think about the movie. Leave your comments below. And have I convinced you to watch this movie? Honestly, I hope I have convinced you to watch this movie, because it's a good one. Okay guys, see you in my next video. Bye. Mwah.